Happy holiday week.
What up, dude?
I'm living the best life over here. How about yourself?
Yeah, man, it's been pretty good. I can't complain.
I've been in pre-vacay mode. Vacay mode next week will be official. So literally have a whopping 0 trades this week. 0.
Hey, that's all right, man. Like I was just saying, you come back like sharper when you take a week off or a few days off.
Yeah, so this is the first time I've taken an extended period of time off in so I got married last year. We got married last year, September. I took a week off for that, maybe almost 2. It's the first time I've taken time off since then, significantly. I took some time off in December for holidays. I'm lying. I keep catching myself in lies. It's like, I haven't taken time off all year. Oh, wait, Christmas. Oh, wait, got married last year. I take time off. It is what it is.
Oh, yeah, man. Everybody's got to take time off.
Yeah, but I agree with you, right? Take some time off, come back sharper. I'm all about it. So,
no doubt.
But anyway, so this week, we're going to chop up your trades. I might touch on a couple things, ask you some questions, because you got some killer ones today. But anyway, let's do the intro thing and just jump into it, as they say.
Hit it.
All right. So this is the Sellers Elkins show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We are going to witness greatness and all that it is.
I don't know about greatness.
I don't know. Well, you already know which one was my favorite. I'm not even gonna. That's all you. But you had some killers.
Well, I'll start with one that was a loser, and
how dare you?
I know, man. I forgot. We're not supposed to lose, which I don't know if you noticed this about this trade for me. Which this was the hot chick today. So I'll let everybody know in our little Discord room, like, this was the one I was wanting to watch, or I was watching and the most interested in, but the way it held VWAP into open, this first trade is a long.
That's what I thought. I haven't been participating on Twitter because I haven't been trading. I haven't been really present in Discord room, which I've told people because I'm not trading. But, I look at shit from time to time. And I saw that you were wanting to long it.
Yeah, man. And if it wouldn't have been for that long, the size I took on this would have been a max loss.
You hit it heavy.
Yeah, it was. I hit it really damn heavy, and my average sucks because I got in short here, and then added at VWAP, and so where I stopped out, I just put a stop in. I knew it could. Like, when I saw it curling like this, I was like, okay, I've seen this before, and if it breaks out, I don't think it's going to be a fake breakout. So I just put my stop in right above that high.
What was the volume on that? Like down low? What does it look like?
Pretty.
Oh yeah, it's just pretty heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. It
about
was
a mil a minute.
Yeah. It was quite a bit of volume. So I was more short biased on it. The gap stats, they were like, those little gap stats that Silvas made for me, they were like 60-40. But
I remember you put that in the room too and saw that it was, not awesome, but not,
Yeah, I mean, it's a relatively new IPO. I mean, it's not like a 10-year-old company or a 5-year-old company. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. But, so first of all, in my opinion, this is a great trade. Risk management's on point. You had the long at open. Risk management was there. Like, this is good, right? We lose all the time.
Oh,
you manage your risk, and it's just part of it. Like, this is a good trade. But we were talking about something before this show started about this ticker right here. Do you remember what that was?
Oh, what, the fact that it doesn't have any dilution or bag holders?
Kind of, but people were saying, "Oh, it's going to 5, it's going to 6." They act like they know where it's going, right?
Oh, dude, that is what. That's funny that you say that, because I wanted to say that, and
Say it. That's what we
I
do.
mean, what I mean, it's, you were saying it too. It's people will be, like they say, uh, there's been certain people that are like, oh, I knew top was gonna go crazy. That's why I didn't short it. Well, I mean, or I knew GRRR was gonna go to 6, so that's why I waited until then to short it. Well, then why the hell didn't you just long it?
Right. They'll be like, "Oh, just waiting for the ad boys to get knocked out because it's gonna happen." Well, cool.
If you
Yeah,
know
why
that's
did
gonna happen, then why are you not longing it?
It's the wonderful, Twitterverse. Everybody wants to. Nobody knows what the hell's gonna like. I was talking to our boy Wealthine. He's not called Wealthine anymore. He's changed his name. But anyway, he was
Right.
asking about stock outcomes and whatever, and he referenced Wolf of Wall Street with Matthew McConaughey in that one scene where he was like, "People don't know if the stock's going to go up or down. I don't care if you're Warren Buffett, Jimmy Buffett. People don't know if it's going to go up, down, or sideways," which is 100% true. No
Yep.
one has a fucking clue. And what I told him is like, no one knows. All you can do is just you put yourself in the best position, to have a favorable outcome. You set your risk and accept when you're wrong. And that's exactly what you did here. And this is like, it is what it is. I mean,
Hey,
sometimes you lose, but you followed your plan and you managed your risk fine.
thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's what I was saying in the room, because we've got Be the Trader, Alex. He's in there with us now, trades with us pretty much every day, and just a bunch of good guys with a bunch of different opinions, right?
Right.
So we were all discussing this, and I, like I said, I was like, this isn't the greatest one, but it's the biggest gapper. I haven't traded like at all this week, so I was, kind of dead set on not making it work, but at least trying it.
Yeah, you had a plan and you tried it. Ain't nothing
It was
wrong
up
with
like
that.
100%. And I think I really like what our old buddy Morg said the other day. Just trade the setup at face value, or you're going to be playing catch up forever.
Right. And the setup was, it was solid. I don't see any problem with the trade at all. I think it was fine.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, losing
like I
is part
said,
of it.
The way it was holding VWAP going into open, that's why I took that initial long. But then when it had that big fail, which looked like a fail on a decent amount of volume,
Yeah,
I was
right, right.
I was confident to start slamming into that thing short. But like I said, man, I had to put a hard stop in, which I usually don't. But just the amount of volume coming in and the way it was holding up and soaking and all that good stuff, I was like, dude, if this breaks out, like, I better just put the stop in there. I'll take the loss. And, after I said that, I just sat there and watched it make this little shelf here. And I was like, I'm not shorting into that. This is going up more.
And I like what I saw. Like I said, I've been kind of popping in and out this week because I've just been crazy busy. But I saw where Alex put something in the room about, people want to talk about risk management and when you're wrong, cutting your loss, right? And that's all well and said. But he said something along the lines: if you cut it, but then you keep fighting it the whole way up, death by 1,000 paper cuts, which is what I used to have a major problem with. You're not accepting the loss.
Exactly.
Like, you're not letting yourself be wrong. You're not accepting the loss, and you're fighting it the whole way up. So that's still you not accepting the loss. Like,
man,
you're just fighting a ticker front side for no reason, emotional reasons.
Exactly. It really is emotional reasons. And that for me is like, okay, this didn't work the way I thought it would. And, Birdie in the room, he was like, I'm a long it and risk 3.8, And I was like, that's a good long. I like that area for a long. But at that point, my brain was so just like fried from it.
Yeah.
I'd taken a pretty damn big loss. So I was like, it doesn't look big right here, but I promise you, this is a pretty big loss.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean that's the thing. Like you never know how much size are behind somebody's arrows. Could be 10 shares, could be 1,000. You never know.
right. And I actually ended green on the day
Yeah,
because of
you
a
had
few
some
other
other.
ones.
Yeah, you had some other killers.
But like because I've make myself do this, like and like I said, it was tempting to if I wasn't wanting to trade other stuff, it would have been really tempting to hit it here.
It's a good thing you didn't though.
Yeah, exactly. Hey Tyler, what's up, man? How you doing?
This is gonna be a question for you because I ain't traded all week.
I didn't trade CRBU, man. I didn't trade anything yesterday. Um, I kind of had a busy day, and I saw some people had some trouble with that one. But
These all day
honestly,
grinders, man, they're tough as shit.
yeah, I mean, and this thing wasn't even a grinder. This was a gapper and then a parabolic move.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then the end of the day, it looks like it kind of chopped around and grinded up pretty nice into close. This could be a nice play on Monday. I am. Wait, what's
Well,
today? Today's Friday, right? I don't even know what day
yeah,
of the week
man.
it is.
This one it ended up it did like a fake breakout, and then
Did it die after hours?
I haven't even looked.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is I might trade Monday. It might be the only day I trade next week, and if I trade Monday, this is going to be on my radar. So,
Yeah,
see what
I mean,
happens.
I don't believe in the ticker. I see, the news was good or whatever. They got some big contract. I saw somebody mention that this thing, there was no reason to be short on it. Well, it was a gapper and it was making lower highs. I mean,
Yeah, Tyler said 60 mil floats on both those tickers probably have higher odds of displaying that grind all day behavior. I mean, it could. I'm real big on volume and time of day, and based on the volume on GRRR, based on your chart you just showed, and the
yeah,
fact that it didn't have any kill candles in that first, I prefer them half hour of open, but even hour of open, then yeah, that would have been for me, a big red flag. So if CRBU was similar to that, like I usually want no part of those freaking things.
yeah, man. I mean, I like being long on them, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to not stick around. Some of the longs I've had this year, like I wind up giving back a ton of the gains, which is exactly what I didn't want to do here today on AAOI, which I didn't really hardly see anybody talking about this one, but this was a solid long, and this was one of my bigger gains of the day.
I don't know if I saw this one. I saw the one we talked about before this, but I don't know that I don't think I saw your AAO. I'm familiar with the ticker. I think I've traded that before. Pretty sure.
Yeah, this is it. And so this one was only up like 20%, which if it had been like a straight up parabolic on well, I mean this was low volume, but if it had been a straight up parabolic, but like 400,000, 500,000 into a 20% move, I would have been wanting to get short on this, because of that little gap fill area. But the way that it made this move on that low volume, but then held it, I knew I wanted to get long. And
I like your entries on that VWAP hold.
thanks, man. Yeah, and that right there looks like a kill candle. When at the time I was like, this looks like it's getting killed. It looks like they're slamming it down, but
that soak off VWAP is, if you're short of for me, that's a massive red flag. So the fact that you longed into that is fucking brilliant. This is good. This is what I wish I could do on the long side. I have zero long side game.
well, I mean, and I went pretty big on this one, man. Like I just had a feeling I've seen this. These grinders that hold above VWAP like that. I mean, if it would have soaked VWAP and then I would have been cutting right here.
For sure. Yeah.
If it would have started failing there, I mean, I'd be out super quick, and it would have been a decent size loss. But I took it there and got out pretty quick because I'm not trying to overstay my welcome on stuff that's made a quick 20% move and then I'm long.
Yeah,
But
my few longs on small caps have been not a long stay. I'm like popping in for a quick visit and I'm out.
And I man, and I agree with you, but like I just the way it held and grinded, I was like, I know this is going higher, and I had $8 in mind, just from the way that it looked on the daily chart. Like I I got all out here.
I was gonna say you got out right at 8,
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah, right above 8.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think
perfect.
I got out like at 8 or 8:01. I just like marketed out, got all out, and
Dude, I love market orders. I know that's like taboo, but sometimes on certain setups or especially if I'm short and it flushes hard, I'm spamming that market button to get out on that flush.
oh yeah,
Like I
and
don't care. I know people are like, "Oh, don't use market orders," and majority of the time I'm using limit orders. But on those big flushes or, man, whatever. I'm gonna mark it out.
oh dude, I know, and this was kind of
Plus,
obvious.
we're trading with Cobra. In my opinion, on market fills, even with them, they give. I mean, I've never feel like I marketed out on them on like flushes and things like that and got totally screwed. I've never felt like that.
Um, Me neither. Well, there was one time on Trade Zero when I used to just push like
Yeah.
big ass size. I was I was green. Dude, it was when I'd let stuff go against me like crazy. I'd be down like 20 grand on a trade, and it would be like that was normal. But not these
20
days.
grand on a trade, ladies and gentlemen. 20 grand.
Oh, I mean, I'd be down that, and then like it would get down to like where I'd be like green $1,000, and
You
then
cover instantly.
yeah, I would. And I remember one time I marketed out on something I was green like $1,000 on, and the market order on Trade Zero, I had so many shares. I don't know, it put me red like $2,600. I was like, holy shit. I was pissed, man. Right at the end of the day, too.
Fucking Trade Zero. Those guys are trash. This is a good question for man. This year parabolic. Since he's asking this question, I think now you have to show your parabolic trade next.
Okay, yeah, and that's a perfect question for this too, because like this was like a 20% up move, but it held, and it was on really low volume, but uh the way it grinded, this isn't something I want to be short on. It's not a like a true para, and it happened like right out of the gate. So it's
Yeah. I
different.
don't like parabolic moves right at open. That's not my favorite. I know you're better at that than I am. I don't feel like I trade that action well.
Not like within the first couple of minutes like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, this was, I mean, literally right at open. This thing took off.
Yeah, and it held that little gap fill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did.
So that, like I said, dude, I had like 4,000 shares. So this was a pretty good trade.
Hell yeah.
And I was, like I said, it ended up these trades ended up putting me, pretty decently green on the day. But
So he's pulling up his parabolic trade, which is killer, by the way. I would say my biggest obstacle to success with the parabolic trades for me personally was finding what I'm comfortable with on the loss side and being able to stomach that, and then just being patient. So for me, parabolic, I like it to go up X amount, and I'm willing to risk 10% to make 30. And I just that took some trial and error. But for me, that was the biggest obstacle because some guys that trade pairs are willing to risk 20 or 30% to make 20 or 30%, and I just wasn't comfortable with that. So I did a lot of back testing and just figured out what fit me personally. I'm not cool with it's just not my style. I'm not cool with stomaching a 30% loss, and that's just how I am. So for me, I had to find what works, and it took a lot of back testing and patience. But that was my biggest obstacle personally.
right, and I'm willing to withstand like a little heavier drawdown than that on my pairs, but I love trading pairs, and it doesn't have to be it does not have to be 30% for me to trade it. In fact, some of the best ones are 20 percenters.
Which that's the thing too. Like when I'm talking about risk and 10 to make 30, you might risk 20 to make 30, and people are like, oh, that's horrible. But there's literally nothing wrong with that if you get your stats in line, size accordingly, and then monitor your win rate in relation to your risk reward. Like win rate and risk reward by themselves are useless. You have to like have
Right.
his win rate, if you're risking 20% to make 30, your win rate's going to be higher than mine. Me risking 10 to make 30. So your win rate's going to be better, but at the end of the time, or at the end of a period of time, hopefully our, graphs are going in the same direction.
Right. My win rate's pretty high on these. My win rate on gappers is probably like it's okay. My win rate on some of my longs is okay, but the win rate on, I mean, I say okay, like it's better than 50%, but the win rate on these is like, man, it's like 80 something percent.
I was going to say 80, 85 was going to be my guess.
Yeah, it's like I said, I always say it's my most profitable setup. I have the best win rate with this, and I don't know, I like trading these. I like sizing up on them. They're really
what's your biggest obstacle though with that with parabolics? Or what was your biggest obstacle with parabolic?
Judging between like a parabolic that's gonna slam like this and one that's gonna do like that trade I just showed a minute ago, which I don't remember if that one triggered or not. I'd have to go look on my parascan, but like the time figuring out all the little what's the word, like exact things like the time of day and how because some people trade them regardless of what time of day it is, and all that, if there's a level there, what to look for. What's up, Sam? What's up?
Sam killed GRRR today when I did my quick little scroll through Twitter today. I'm pretty sure he like patiently waited for that. Like he killed it, if I remember right. He absolutely just killed it.
Yeah, dude, Sam's a badass trader. He's extremely patient. Try to be like that, but I mean, like I was saying, man, sometimes it's just hard for me to say exactly what I'm looking for. But I mean, this is the way I'd love to be able to hit these. It wasn't on SSR. I'm just slamming into it after that fail. It's immediately failing VWAP. It's like 500,000 volume on the day. It's just a straight up move, 2 big wicks. You've got a good level to risk off of, and this thing is just immediately dying.
The volume followed the pattern. It had that one little pop on the back end, but I mean that pop on the back end happened when it damn near round tripped.
Yeah, the reason this happened right here, this volume pop, is from everybody covering their short because
that thing round tripped.
Yeah, it did, and it halted right here at like $5. I was about to cover some there, and I was watching the montage, and I was like, man, is this about to limit down? I'm not covering yet. And then it did, and when it did, I was hitting my key so fast, I marked it out, and it filled me here. And then I set a limit order for the rest, and dude, I had a limit order set at like 462 or 463, and it wouldn't fill it. I had to move it up to like 475 or something, and then it filled it. I got all that.
Yeah, all right, they hope for do. Yeah, I saw where it kind of chopped around going into close and had a little spike. And I agree with you here. I hate after hours trading. I hate after hours action. I basically hate everything about after hours, especially getting fucking executed, man. I hate it. I don't usually share shares, but with a symbol like that. Tyler, I know you guys heavily supported TI in the video. If in theory you had a software that had TI's capabilities and more data, more flexibility, everything, would it provide value to you? I mean, I'm always open to anything. Like, I'm not closed-minded. If something better comes along, then I would definitely check it out. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Oh yeah.
Like, for now, Trade Ideas is the best thing I think for both of us when it comes to not only that setup, but just scans in general and the quick access to information is, to my knowledge, pretty unparalleled at this point. I don't know of anybody else where you can get that amount of quick information about stocks and the scans. Like, so as of now, I don't know of anything better. But yeah, yeah, you found me something better than hey,
That's
you
right.
know. Let's see. The perfect quant backtesting software to backtest kind of pair trades like X% and Y minutes. So however much data you want. You show me the perfect quant backtesting software, we'll have a conversation. I'd say that much for damn sure. Do you think that kind of backtesting would be beneficial? Yeah, I love backtesting. I love numbers. I love data. I love Excel. I love all of those things. So absolutely, if something ever pops up and presents itself with opportunities, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Anything that can give edge. I'm all about finding edge.
That's
So,
right. Me too.
do whatever. If new software or new methods or models or, I mean, whatever, you know?
Absolutely.
Oh, we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't show a lot of charts. However, sometimes I wish you would show more, but to each
Show
their
them
own.
all, Sam. Show them all.
Because you got some good ones. Your trade on GR today was solid.
Yeah, it really was, man.
That was
I just went and looked at it. I had to go give it a check it out. Everybody, y'all need to follow Sam at Trades Turbo on Twitter.
And I think I could be wrong here, but I think he's a moderator now in the IU chat room.
Probably so. I know him and Nate are buddies, and
Well, he's a good trader. He's been with IU for a long time. Yeah, man, check him out for damn sure. I think we have a common point of interest. Yeah, we'll get in a chat. How we get to Twitter? No, I mean, if you're selling something that is of benefit, I'm not saying I wouldn't buy it, but you know, us cynical short sellers, man, you got to sell me hard because I'm a cynical old MFer. But anyway, Twitter is probably the easiest way.
Old.
I know I'm old as shit. I'm gonna be. Well, no, never mind. Twitter. If you have Twitter, right below our names are our Twitter tags. Just DM me on Twitter. Yeah, that would be the easiest way. And then we'll see what you're talking about. But yeah, man, I'm not closed-minded.
Yeah, sell me on it, and then I'll buy it too.
That's something probably is Discord okay for you? Yes. Discord's fine. Twitter, hit me up on Twitter, and then I can give you my Discord, and we can chat. However, and then we'll you sellers will, we'll check stuff out. But
absolutely.
I'm gonna be interested. Okay. See what you got, Tyler.
That's right.
I mean, saying you're gonna one up Trade Ideas is a tall task because they're really good at what they do, and I'm curious. You've piqued my curiosity, and I'm on vacation next week. Not trade much, maybe Monday, so I got all week to, dig into some shit, as they say. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
What else you got? You got any more?
Me? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see him.
All right.
Oh, don't be a bot, Tyler. You can't be a bot if you're talking like this on YouTube. I'm messing with you.
Oh yeah.
Hit us up. We'll see what you got.
Let's see here. I also traded a cheapie today. I traded it poorly at first.
I'm glad you have brought this up. This is the perfect segue into what we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
I like it. You're right. This was a cheapie.
but
Which, hey,
it was
I'm
still a
cool with trading cheapies. I ain't got no like I saw a bunch of people traded Mulan. If I'd have been actively trading this week, I love to short Mulan. It's always a good short. Like they always go down.
I
And
know,
it was
man, and I saw Sam and everybody else trading it, and I was like, damn, man, I knew I should have traded that. Like,
well, it was like trading what in the 40s or 50s at the time, and pretty low price ticker. But dude, if Mulan's popping on a scan, like I'm definitely gonna check it out because historically I've
it's a,
done well with Mulan. Like I
it's a
love
piece
that
of
ticker.
garbage, man. It's
Dude,
garbage.
that ticker sucks. Like, I shouldn't say the ticker doesn't suck. The ticker is awesome. The company sucks.
Yeah, so it makes for a great trader. But
And I saw the news about the stock buyback, which I thought was laughable because the first thing that came to mind is one, this company's broke. So where are they getting the money from? And I'm thinking in my head, like, all these people that are bagged that they diluted time and time, and that's where they're getting the money to stock buyback, which could get canceled at any point in time anyway. Yeah, Sam, he probably killed it. I didn't see your chart of Mulan, so I've been pretty
dude,
inactive, but
Sam killed it. He did.
yeah. And then the buyback the following Mulan, man. Of course they did. That's what I'm talking. Like that, right? Oh, gotta shorted the shit out of it just for principle alone.
I love that. That's hilarious, man. And I saw that, and all I could think was like, man, literally
Continuation. He said he traded this morning too. Continuation on the downside, I assume. Knowing Mulan, I assume continuation on the downside. I could be wrong. Maybe you longed it, but I assume continuation.
I see Sam hitting those, and you hit them, dude. I'm terrible about like, I'm terrible at like trading, like, downside continuation. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I do okay with it on certain tickers or the day. I guess the day two. For me, I consider it more of a day two gap down. But yeah, with something like Mulan, yeah, and he said he caught the continuation to the downside. So, and at 4 a.m., 4 a.m. on the market is what time your time? Out of curiosity, because I know you're on the other side of the pond. Is it like 3 p.m. for you? I was up at 4 a.m. Oh shit. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know
That's nice.
time zones get tricky for the international. Like our boy Valentine, he'd be trading stuff at 3 a.m. and it's what, like 4 p.m. his time or something crazy.
Yeah, man. I'll be talking to him on the weekends, and it'll be like 7 or 8 in the morning here, and it's like after lunch there, and he'll be FaceTiming me like going for a jog in the woods, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, it's the afternoon." I'm like, "Dude, I just got up."
When I was in the US, yeah, no, there's a big reason I'm not a good pre-market trader, and that's a huge part of the reason why. Is I ain't.
Dude,
I
wake up pretty early.
I like my sleep, or I shouldn't. So I used to get up every day at 3:30 to go to the gym, be home by 5 or 6 or whatever. But I'm just not mentally there to trade at 4 a.m. Like
I don't trade that early, but I get up.
Yeah, I would go to the gym that early.
I get up at like 4:30 every day. Sometimes 4:30 or 5, but that's just from working construction for like 10 years. So I'm just used to it, man. I used to wake up earlier than that.
Sorry, I went off on a tangent. But
no, dude.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Better with that. What about this trade? I mean,
yeah.
So like this looks like I'm like doing a bunch of adding, but really, I'll zoom in and show you why I'm hitting it here. I hit it after this blow off. You see this blow off here?
Right.
This first blow off, and that first blow off is like a fake breakout over that pre-market high, and the 1 hour
favorite.
Yep, the 1 hour on this was perfect. It was like, I wish I had the whole thing. It was like a little bit low. The previous high to this one was a little bit lower, and then this one was a little bit higher than that high. And I had a feeling it was going to, do a little fake breakout. And I see that big wick, and I was like, oh yeah, that's it.
There it is.
I think Eagle or either him or Diego in our room, they called it out. They were like, hey, BJDX is at the highs right now, and I was like, oh man, I saw it. I saw the pop, and I saw that big wick. I started slamming that thing, um, and I got in a little bit too heavy. I'm not gonna say how many shares, but it was a pretty sizable loss right here. Um, and like I just had a sizable loss on GRRR. So I was like, this is right at the beginning of the day. I was like, damn it, man, this is gonna be a really bad day. And well, then I hit it again, got back in full size, and it wound up being a good trade.
I love that recycle.
Yeah, got a little bit at VWAP there, and man, I had orders. I had limit orders at right at like 33 and a half and 34, where I really wanted to take this because I thought it was going to do that. I thought it was going to do this right here, there.
Right.
But when it held just a little bit higher than that previous low, I was like, I took the orders off, and I was just like, well, let me just see what it does. And of course, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. But at this point, I was done watching it, so I just covered the rest there, right at like 30 or 31 cents. Wound up being a good trade. Like, I think I wound up with a profit of like $400 on this, even after taking a pretty big loss right there.
Yeah, and I know we talk about this all the time, but like $400 on a singular trade is nothing to scoff at. Like, Twitter has skewed so many people. A guy that I'm not even gonna say his name. We know him. Was in our room or whatever, and he hit me up, and had like on one ticker within an hour, $120 profit. And he's like, dude, I know this sucks, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. This is a better trade than 95% of the people will make. Like, most people lose. The fact that you are walking away with anything greater than zero already puts you ahead of 90% of the people. But Twitter, man, it just skews a lot of people, and I hate that because he was beating himself up that he only made $120. I'm like, dude, $120 in 30 minutes on a singular ticker is solid work, man. Like, you got to start somewhere, and that's a good, pretty damn good starting point.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. I used to feel like I had to make at least $1,000 on every trade. At least that, I was like, I've got to make at least 1,000. I'd be pushing to make 3,000 to 5,000, and
we both went through the thing where we would gunsling with massive size and take massive losses and have massive gains, but it just, it just was random. And
yeah, what good is making 20K today if I'm going to lose 25 tomorrow?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's how it was for me.
Yep. So I don't know. People beat themselves up over stuff like that, but so I'm gonna throw up the thing that we were talking about beforehand, since you brought up the low price ticker. Do you have another one?
No, man, that's it for me.
Okay. I'm gonna show this, and we haven't talked about this in forever. And for a lot of people, this is gonna be like, well, I don't want to say obvious, but a lot of people know this, but I want to talk about it again because in the last couple weeks, I've had a lot of people hit me up. And it was around this, right? I still use this every single day. Every day I trade, I use this position size calculator. I've been using it forever. And I just don't know how to stress this anymore. We talk about risk management a lot, all the freaking time. But something I don't think gets talked about enough, maybe on Twitter or just in general, is like a huge, overwhelmingly huge part of risk management is your position sizing. I have known so many people, as have you. We've traded with people like this. I've done it before too when I first got back into trading small caps specifically. But if you take 100 shares of something that's, what was that one you just showed? 40 cents, 30 cents, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You take 100 shares of that and you gain 20, 30%, right? You're making a dime if you're lucky.
Yeah, I think I had like 16 or 18,000 shares of that.
Yeah, but then those same guys that take, Oh, it's fine. There ain't nothing wrong.
And
I mean,
I
it's
use
all
this
good.
calculator now too. I've got it on my phone and everything, man.
Yeah,
I'll
I,
go look
I
at
mean,
it all
this is
the
a
time.
desktop shortcut for me, but like people will take 100 shares of something that is 30 cents, but then they'll also take 100 shares of something that is $30. You just simply cannot do that over an extended period of time and expect to make any sort of money. You just cannot. Like, and I put this example in here ahead of time. This is just pretending that somebody has a new account over PDT and they're risking 1%. And I just put in a random entry price and a random stop loss. I did that. I think it's right around the GRRR prices, and that's why I did it. With a 3-to-1 risk reward, and it pops out exactly how many shares you should take, where you should take profit, what your risk is. It tells you what your consecutive loss management looks like over a long period of losses. But, and I'm not even getting into like this. We've done it before on risk management, but just the position sizing alone, man. Like, oh, hold on, sorry. I love the DOS Magic Hockey. Yeah, the DOS. What's that damn thing called that everybody uses in DOS?
Oh, the ultimate hotkey.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a bunch of ways you can calculate size in DOS, or you can have DOS calculate size for you. It is awesome, and I have a couple hotkeys that are specifically around that ultimate hotkey. In I'm gonna say 75 to 80% of the time, though, I'm doing it like this, but that's just because I'm 2-3 shotting in, and I don't have enough hotkeys to do, a third aside. Hotkeys can get. I don't have. My Stream Deck's got like 15 buttons or something. I needed the bigger one, but you got to position size accordingly. I don't know how many people I've seen that could be great traders and have no more need for technical analysis, right? They got some patterns down, they got some fundamentals down, they could be solid. But if you cannot position size accordingly and you win on tickers where you're taking 100 shares of stuff that's 20 cents and you're losing on stuff that costs $10 and you're taking 100 shares of that too, you're not gonna ever make it. I remember the other day taking this. Yeah, same.
Oh, dude, yeah, man.
So when
I used to not like. I used to be like that too. I'd take like 5,000 shares on everything.
yeah, like if you're trading small caps and your average size, let's just even say 100 shares, right? In small caps, that's pretty insignificant. But go take 100 shares of Tesla or Nvidia and see how that goes. Because I've done that too. I think I've told you before. A couple years ago, I was trying to trade Tesla with 100 shares to get my feet wet. Well, shit, 100 shares of Tesla, I was getting wrecked in consecutive days, weeks, months. Like, I quit trading Tesla, but that was also because my position sizing was absolute shit.
Right. And you're well into
exactly.
Microsoft.
Imagine going from Mulan, which was at 50 cents, to Microsoft, which is hundreds of dollars a share. So yeah, man, you got to position size accordingly, and I can't stress this enough. So okay, so this right here, right? Your entry is at $5.75. You should take 966 shares if you're willing to risk 1% of your account, 1% of a $28,000 account, $280. Let's say you're trading Nvidia, which is roughly $475, and you're willing to risk, I don't know, just even say 477. That is a 800% decrease in shares or some shit. Like, it went from almost 1,000 shares to 140, and that's still a massive position. So this is also using margin, and this is probably a bad example, but I guess if you're trading something like that on this size account, you have to significantly change your risk amount. Then you're talking 7 shares. But the point stands, right? Like, you cannot manage risk without managing position size. You gotta freaking manage your position size. I've known too many guys. We've known a couple that we've traded alongside. this year, last year, 2 years ago that were trading 100 shares of everything. Price didn't matter. And they were not profitable. Shocker.
I'll give you an example of one time that worked out really good that I did. It was last year, and it was the ticker was LFLY. If you look at the daily, it's like it looks like a recent IPO, and then it's got like a little gap, and then it gaps back up to like $11, and then dumps down to like 50 cents. And then this day, it was Valentine. That's how me and him. We were talking about it this day. It was last year, probably springtime last year, and it gapped up to like almost $11, and I shorted 5,000 shares at like $10.70, something like that. And at the time, I had two accounts that I was trading on, and one of them was I had like 15 grand in a CMEG account.
Yeah.
And I took it on there. I took it off my phone. I was out of town, man. I took it off my phone, took 5,000 shares, and this was when, I don't know if they still do it, but CMEG would give you like, they give you like 10-to-1 leverage.
They probably still do.
And so I got the shares, and I shorted it at like whatever it was, like 1060 or 1070, and this thing went to like $6. And I had 5,000 shares, and I doubled the account in a day. That was a crazy trade. That was probably the craziest trade I've ever had. As far as
that was one of your biggest last year, wasn't it? That in Veru.
Yep. Those were like a couple.
Yep.
I only had a couple like 5-figure trades last year, and that was one of them. I mean, it's rare for me to have a 5-figure trade like that. I don't push that much size, but that was an example of me being like, because I just would be shorting 5,000 shares all the time, and
right.
I just did it. I wasn't thinking about how much different that was from like a $3 ticker.
Yeah, so I think it's something that's just not talked about enough. I mean, it's a huge part of risk management. If you don't manage your position sizing, like we said, like Sam said, you're gonna get wrecked. And if you have DOS and you want to see what he's talking about, if you go to YouTube and literally just search ultimate hotkey, it's gonna pop up. It's a huge video. I say huge in the sense of like a ton of likes and engagement, so it's probably gonna be the first thing that pops up for you. But it is a great tool that helps you position size with a push of a button if you have DOS. So yeah, man, position sizing. I'm glad you brought up a low price ticker because we were talking about that before this whole thing. But
and by the way, nobody do that. Don't ever leverage your entire account like 10x, and that's
because if that thing would have went up like $1, even
like
$1.
Yeah, I'd have lost like an ass load of money. So
you may have owed the broker after that one.
When I used to trade on CMEG all the time, there were several times I owed the broker a little bit of money.
At the good old days.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't do that stuff anymore. And like this was just kind of like, it wasn't meant to be that big of a trade, but the whole point is position sizing, and I don't do that anymore.
Right. We have honed it down, honed it in, with all the scripts, etc. Yep. That's right. I think that YouTube video has the script in the comments. You can just literally copy and paste it into DOS and then put your numbers in that you're comfortable with, and you're good to go. Like I said, I have a couple hotkeys that are for that. Parabolics is one of the few setups where I will use the ultimate hotkey, and I have one set up: 10% risk, 30% target, risking X amount, push the button, boom, does its thing. Then I ain't even got to worry about it. It's either going to work or it's not.
That's right.
And that's why I like parabolics. There's been some times I've canceled the orders because the action gets wonky and I might take profit a little too soon or, whatever. But Anyway, position sizing, ultimate hotkey, both things that are extremely important. But you got to manage your position size. 100 shares of something at 20 cents obviously isn't going to treat you the same of a stock that's trading at $20 and you take 100 shares of that. You'll bleed yourself out. Say
Real
that.
quick.
Yeah.
And if you have a really small account, you'll, blow it up. You can do it instantaneously.
Yeah, you could blow up big accounts instantaneously. Yeah, we've seen it all. Anyway, I obviously don't have any tickers this week because I haven't traded anything this week. So unless you have anything you want to touch on, or unless any questions pop up, I got nothing else for you.
Yeah, and we're coming up on an hour. You got how about a book? How about a book recommendation? I mean, I'm about to read that Fooled by Randomness.
All right, let me I got my bookshelf behind me. Let me go grab a book.
I just finished Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. That's a pretty good book.
I'm going to grab 2 books.
Yeah.
I got 10 seconds. I'm going to hit the thing and go grab a book. You ready for this?
Yep.
Boom. I wasn't fast enough.
Hey, it was fast enough for me.
Damn, bro, 10 seconds is not a long time. All right, so look, I got 2. And I got 2 for a reason. All right, so the first one. I think I mentioned this in our room. Actually, I know I did. So this thing is thick, number one. Like, this ain't no joke. And I'm about a third of the way through it. The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. This is a great book. I'm not a third of the way. Yeah, I'm about a third of the way through. It is long, but it is applicable to many things in life, not just trading. But I think it could be applicable to trading, discipline, whatever. The reason I like it, aside from that too, is I like books that are broken into smaller subsections. So this is the 48 Laws of Power, where there's 48 sections in the book. So the book is about 400 pages, which is a lot. But if you do 48 Laws of Power into 400, it's not that bad, right? So you could read a law or 2 of power a day. Good fucking book, though. The other one that I was going to touch on, I reread this, not yearly. I'm not even going to say bi-yearly. Every few years. And people are going to be like, oh, why? It's stupid. But whatever. I'm sure everybody's heard of it. I hope. The Art of War. First time I read it was in high school. I read it again in college. I think it got popular in the trading community because of that Wall Street movie. I guess Gordon Gekko made a comment about Sun Tzu. But anyway, this is a good book. And I've reread this thing every few years. But this one, I'm going to say 200 pages, not even. 220 pages. But it's literally broken up into like... Have you ever read this book?
No, I haven't.
You should. But it's broken up into stuff that looks like that.
Oh, yeah. That's my speed right there.
Yeah, like super easy read. But both of those are solid. Hell yes.
I've read that like 3 times.
Yeah, dude, that's one of the best books I've read about trading in a long time, in my opinion. Like, Daily Trading Coach is one of my favorites. The Unknown Market Wizards are some of my favorites. But then I read Best Loser Wins, and I was like, this is my new favorite. Like, I thought it was so good. And that's what we were talking about earlier in this episode that Alex was talking about in the room, like, if you cut something but then keep trying and cutting, cutting, like, you're not accepting the loss.
But what I will say about Best Loser Wins, which I think that guy, Hogard, he's mostly trading like futures and large caps and stuff like that, and a lot different equities style than small caps. But like when I listen to that book, I trade futures too. I can't get on board with the whole thing he says about like I mean, you know, sometimes I'll flip bias, but like sometimes I'll find myself getting chopped up trading futures if I'm trying to flip bias too much. So like I try to just stick to my plan, and if it doesn't work, then just lose and just be like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna walk for a while, and usually if I leave, like if I trade the morning, lose, and then I'm just like, all right, F it. Like I'll walk for a while and then come back after lunch. I can usually find a good trade, and that's with like futures, you know, and large caps and stuff like that. But you
But
know,
I
in the
think that's also the good thing about books is like just take it for what it is. Like you might get some stuff out of it. Um, just because you read a book about trading or whatever doesn't mean you have to change your entire approach, but you might get some gems out of it. And the stuff in Sun Tzu, like the Art of War, has nothing to do with trading. I mean, the markets didn't exist when he, you know. Anyway, great book, good read. But so full time loser. I'm kidding. Yes, we trade full time, except me recently because of vacations. I don't trade as much in the summer because I'm home with the kids. They're on, I've told sellers this before, but you get like 10 good summers with your kids, in my opinion. When they're
that's
younger
a
than
good point,
5,
man.
they can't, it's hard to do a lot of stuff with them. So from like 5 to 15, you got like 10 good summers because once they're 16, they don't want nothing to do with you. They just want to like, come outside. Yeah. Now I'm just, you know, I, nothing wrong with that. I always think that about podcasting any kind. You learn just yes.
Dude, yeah, Sam, I totally agree. And that's what I meant when I was talking about best loser wins. Is like there's some stuff I took from it that, and like I said, I've read that. Like I've read it, actually read it twice because I'm not the best. I suck at like paying attention with reading, so I had to make myself read it. But then also, while I was like working out and cutting the grass, I listened to it, and I probably listened to it 3 times. But I've read through the book twice, and man, like you said, I took a couple of things from it that I really like, and that that's what was worth it to me. And like you said, learn one thing from it. It's it's worth it. And me and Craig, we talk about this all the time with the edge versus psychology. Like for me right now, the hardest thing is psychology. But
Which, yeah, it takes time to get to that point.
yeah, I mean, like I've been trading for a good little while, so but finding edge was to me the I'm not going to say easier part, but like it was,
Easier.
yeah, I'll say easier than the psychology thing, man, because like I mean my brain does not want to lose. I'm like pretty competitive, so
Same. Played sports my whole life, and if you lose, you suck, so you don't want to lose. But
yeah, man. And just like when I was working and stuff, like I'd be trading and working, and like when I was working out of town doing construction, you have the people that be like, you'd be like, hey man, I made you know $5,000 today, and they're like, damn, oh my god. And then the next day you're like, I lost $1,000. They're like, man, why didn't you just quit while you were ahead? I'm like, oh, it's not the same, man.
oh,
It's not
but
like you know
no, you're right. You definitely gotta trading. You have to change your whole mindset. You gotta learn how to lose. So that's a great book that Sam mentioned.
it is.
100% recommend it, and I also 100% agree with what he said. Part of the reason I like those market wizard books, it's basically interviewing different traders, and some of those guys I wholeheartedly disagree with on their entire style and how they trade, but I can still learn some things from them that could benefit me in my trading personally. So I like to read anyway. Just
Yeah, man. I
yeah,
think like taking a piece from everybody's pie and you know learning how to incorporate it into yours, whatever it is that's good about their sauce or whatever is worth it.
true that.
But
And
I think it's important to not ever like completely uh, take on somebody else's style. I've tried to do that before. Like after I was already a profitable trader, tried to trade somebody else's system. It didn't work for me. Just you've got to do what works for you and like take something from everything.
Yep. So with that, I got no trades to show. You showed your trades. We've talked about books. We've talked about position sizing. We talked about a lot of stuff. Psychology. We talked about that.
Yep.
Edge greater than psychology. Always. I'll pound the table on it. There was something I put on Twitter the other day. Like one of the best trading psychologists, world renowned. He put a video out, and in the first 5 seconds, he gets asked that question, and his answer to that question was, obviously, he's big on trading psychology. That's what he's known for. But his answer to that question was, if you focus on psychology before edge, you will learn how to lose your money. You'll learn how to lose your money well. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Was it the dude from S&B Capital?
It was Mike. He was
Mike Bellafiore.
It wasn't him that was saying that. It was him and another guy talking, and the other guy that they were talking to was the one that said it.
Okay, I haven't watched it, but I saw where you said something about it, and I was going to watch it this afternoon.
Yeah, it's in the first 10 seconds of the clip, but he basically says if you focus on, that's what it was. You'll lose happily. Yep. Like you will be okay psychologically with throwing away your capital. Edge before psychology, exits greater than entries. I'll fight both till my deathbed.
I agree with you, man. I totally agree with you.
But anyway, all right. I got nothing else. You got anything else?
No, man. Don't
an
keep
hour.
talking anymore. We're over an hour.
Here we are. Holiday week. I'm on vacation. Next week, might trade Monday. I'll be talking to you regardless, but I might trade Monday. But aside from that, like, nah, bro. I'm out.
It's not like there's been a whole lot. Today was busy though, and I'm glad I traded today.
Yeah, we'll see what Monday looks like. Because if I trade, it's gonna be on Monday. But anyway, all right. Appreciate y'all. Tune in. Same old. Oh, sorry. Do you change bet size based on setup or keep R fixed? This is a good question.
It is.
And as quickly as I can answer it, I don't keep my R fixed always. Largely for me, it is fixed. But there are some setups, and when I do my whole watch list thing in the morning, I kind of try to grade my setups, right? Like A, B, C, or A plus even. And if I have an A plus setup, and you might do the same with parabolics, right? But if we have an A plus setups, I will hit those bigger than I will a subpar setup. And I think, in my opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. However, I think when you're starting out, I do think it's best to maybe keep it fixed relative to your account size.
Risk for everything.
Yes. Until you find what works best for you and what you trade best and where your biggest edge lies. And then once you find where your edge lies, like for sellers, is parabolic. So if he has a parabolic that hits all his criteria, he's going to slam the shit out of that with bigger size, and he is some subpar gapper, whatever. So I do think it's best to start out on a fixed R, but as you evolve and learn and grow, to me, my R is not consistent across the board based on the setup. So
that's just I mean, I size up for certain setups, but like, I'm still learning how to play gappers. I mean, I say that because they're not the best thing that I play. So,
comment of the day. Comment of the day.
Oh man,
that was a good one.
It was.
Was he the one that was trying to tell me about this? No, that was Tyler. Okay, I was gonna say if that's you, then I'm in for a treat. But no, that's
else. It'd be a real treat, man. It'd be.
All right,
data and more.
I'm getting off here. Let's do this outro. Appreciate y'all that tuned in, comments, all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, share, etc. Hope everybody had a great 4th. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Next week, I might have more to talk about. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, you will. We'll be here next week. And until then, peace.
Peace.